Hi everyone, welcome to Writing 101 with yours truly, A.G. Fletcher. For the first lesson of this series or class, I'm going to teach you a basic writing exercise that I have dubbed John Doe to Johnny Bravo. Or, if you don't read books, weird, TV. Good example from TV. Will that do the trick for you? Yeah? Because I'm Burt Macklin from the FBI. Alright, let's get to it. So, John Doe to Johnny Bravo. Here's how it goes. You take a basic sentence and make it interesting. Simple as that. So, you'll take this guy and turn him into this guy. Okay? That's clear? We're good? Alright, first step. First step is we take a basic sentence. For today's lesson, we'll say that sentence is John went to the store. Okay? Just some guy going to a store. We don't even know who he is, how he got there, what he's going through, his feelings, nothing. We don't know anything. Okay? And we can establish all of that with a couple changes. And of course, it won't be detailed or extremely prolific or deep or anything. But it will give just enough of a hint of what the reader is getting themselves into. Okay? So, here are the first two changes. John, comma, a broken man, comma, glumly walked to the store. So right there, we made two changes. One, we found the energy by writing broken man. Broken man tells us that the energy is blue or low. Glumly walked to the store tells us that, one, we have made continuity with the energy, with the word glumly. Walked, which is the action, establishes how he gets from point A to point B. Now, of course, we don't know what point A is, but that's not important right now. The important part is that we made a boring sentence interesting enough for the reader to be invited to ask four core questions. Voluntarily, obviously. We're not the ones saying, ask questions, please, please, be interested. No, they have to be voluntarily interested in the story themselves. Okay? So, four core questions. 1, who is John? 2, how or what made him a broken man? And that's where you kind of create that voluntary, overthinking of what was the situation that brought this man to this emotional state. 2, sorry, that's 2. 3, with glumly walked, why is he walking? Why didn't he take his car? Wouldn't that be faster? That's the third question. 4 is why the store? Why that location? Is there something he needs there? Is it just a distraction to get out of whatever aftermath he has to deal with from a fight he had or something? We don't know. Neither does the reader. But that's what makes it interesting, is that we've established a subject, an action, and a location with those three. Okay? So that's the first step. The second step is you basically change everything. You can change the name, you can change the energy, you can change the location, how that person gets from point A to point B, or you could have them be static. You could have them sitting in the kitchen. The reason why I have the character moving in this exercise is that it encourages and teaches novice writers to get the character moving. Because by moving a character, you are exploring where the world you're creating can go, not where it is at point A. And that's why point A doesn't even exist in the sentence, because we don't want to know what point A is. In our heads, we kind of already know it. But what we're trying to connect with, especially the reader, is what kind of character you're creating. character to me is far more important than the world you create. Because if your characters don't feel real, don't feel grounded, then the world you create doesn't matter. The world needs something to latch onto, and that is character. So that's essentially how the exercise works. The third step is basically an improv game with obviously other writers or even just friends at a party. For this game, 2, maybe 4 players, and then you have a non-biased jury that does a point count. And of course, I don't really have too many details, so you can do your own point system if you want. But this is how it goes. 2 players start off, and they are given a basic sentence. It doesn't have to be the one that I gave, but it can just be anything basic that will give them a starting point. So their job is to create the most compelling sentence they can. Now, bonus point is if they can take that basic sentence and turn it into this very intriguing opening paragraph. And now, an opening paragraph does not have to be intricate. It just has to be interesting enough that, not just for your practice, but for the reader, to take that opening paragraph and start to unravel where the character is at the beginning of the story. We might not even have the character be central to the first page. Like, for example, again, in this book here, when you first start it, there's no, like, he doesn't have the characters in action. He's just giving you background information on who they are. And that's totally okay. You know, not every writer writes the same way, and that's great. That's what we want. We don't want to have this gray, beige glob of writers that all write the same way. That'd be really boring, depressing even. So when you do this exercise, it's not just a practice of technical ability, but also establishing what kind of writer you are, what kind of language you have. So I hope that when you take this exercise, you really try to fine-tune not just your technical ability, but trying to craft not just who you are as a writer, but who you are as a human being. Who you are as a human being is very important to us as writers. What you do technically, not just right now, but how you hone your craft in the future, that's all background. But when you start to put work out there, whether it's through self-publishing, traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, however you do it, none of that matters. What matters is that as you write, you don't just improve your capabilities, but you find out what you're trying to say. It's not just about telling a story. It's about you telling yourself, what am I trying to say? Am I saying the same thing in each book? Or am I saying the same thing? And it's not that you have to make each book different, have a different message. It's more so that you're able to clearly create this connection with your readers. Now, you might be asking, but what if I don't have a big audience? That doesn't matter. As long as someone, just one person says, I like your writing, this is really good, and you get better with each book. To me, that's motivating enough. So, I hope you learned a lot today. Have a good day, and goodbye from A.G. Fletcher, this guy, and Burt Macklin from the FBI. Burt!